So the one story that keeps coming back to my mind, it's a story about a player that comes not only from a marginalized background, but he also comes from a single parent household. Now this player, upon hearing that he made the basketball team last year, he gets about $5 for lunch every single day. So he saved that lunch money for a couple months before our AAU CYBL season started. And initially his payments were always on time. Then by the midway point, he started giving me dimes and nickels and quarters. I didn't really understand what to make out of it. And sooner or later I started realizing he was not only bringing not enough money to be able to go on trips, but when he would come on trips, he wouldn't even eat lunch or dinner. And so as a coaching staff, we would always provide for him and whatnot. So these are some of the challenges we had to deal with over the last few years.
It's stories like this, which is why we need your help moving forward. Although we're running at 100 miles an hour, it does come at a cost. Over the last year that we had the tournaments, the teams, and everything happening, we came out with roughly $3,000 in debt. You know what, it's actually coming out of really shallow pockets, because ourselves being young in this venture and in our lives as well, it's something that we're investing forward for ourselves and the players, because essentially we want to build a program that maintains a high standard for ourselves as well as the players we deal with. We know that we're dealing with marginalized youth. We know the types of backgrounds they're coming from, because that's the backgrounds we're coming from too.
At DeenUP Athletics, we strive to maintain an atmosphere where our kids are getting the best training, so skill development, best in terms of competition and willingness to play and go up against NBA caliber players, NCAA tournaments, and finally exposure, facilitating opportunities for them to play south of the border.
The potential is there, and the results are starting to pour in too. Just over the last 2 years, we've facilitated over 15 players that were able to move on to the next level. And just this year, we're anticipating 8 players that will be moving on to the next level. And that's just with us, with a couple guys, with whatever little resources that we have that we can put together, and the program is starting to deliver some results. Now we want to scale that. We want to improve that so that we can enable more and more of the youth and the players that are in the programs and those that aren't yet in the program to reach that goal, to maximize their potential, to be better than what the situation dictates them to be.
Last year we had 2 teams. We're going to have about 6 teams this year, one of them being our little partnership with the Toronto District School Board, especially at Central Toronto Academy, who've been generous enough to allow some of our kids that come to our programs to sort of enroll in a prep program there. We have a grade 8 team, grade 7, grade 9, 10, 11, and 12 team. So we have the grade under 13, 14, 15, 16, all the way up to under 17. And that means we need that many more resources. In terms of playing on the AAU circuit, we're going to play in roughly the same amount of tournaments as last year, but we're also going to add to it. This year we're going to increase the level of competition. So as an aspiring coach, aspiring trainer, aspiring academic completing my master's, an aspiring teacher, it's been a very eventful, to say the very least. The issues that come with working with these players. These issues include teenage pregnancies, violence, drug abuse use, drug dealing. This becomes overwhelming at times because sometimes we lack the manpower or we lack the resources to be able to address a lot of these social issues that a lot of our players face.
Because the goal isn't just basketball, it's bigger than basketball, as we say. We want to build these players into being responsible young men and eventually role models for their community as well. So that 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, the players you see now, they're not just athletes. They're not just guys shooting around hoops in their 30s or whatever. They're the ones who are giving back to the community. They're the ones who started, as they say, started from the bottom, and now they're wherever they want to be. We want to help them get into post-secondary opportunities and maximize that and bring it back to the communities that they're from and enable others and continue that cycle of helping others and building each other up. The appeal is to raise $10,000 for the upcoming season. That includes AAU and CYBL, so that's Canada and in the US. And keep in mind, this is nothing going towards us directly. This is 100% of whatever proceeds we get from this goes directly to the program, for the entry fees, for the travel, whatever accommodation that's required to facilitate them becoming student athletes. So it's the new year, it's a fresh start for everybody, so we'd love your support and any help. Please do donate, do whatever you can, and if at the very least, a tweet it forward. Put up on Facebook, maybe a little shout out on Vine, whatever it is, anything would help, and we're very, very grateful and appreciative of any support that you do provide.